Hello? I'm still figuring this out. I had already switched to this camera, but then also not yet. Do let me know if you can hear me. I've got my microphone right here, so I've moved some of my hair out of the way. Um, oh, hey, Mayan. Thank you for stopping by. Yes, this is nerve-wracking because um, oh, let's see. Okay, oh, all of the settings. Good morning, Emma. Oh, that's good to hear. All right, so this is, I've done a couple of live videos, but this is going to be very different because I'm running it through a different software. Good morning, Annalena. It's gone. The video's gone. Oh. And now you're back. Okay. I was gonna type, good morning, Chris. All right, well, oh, I'm just going to go with it. Good morning, Leonica. Thank you for letting me know you can see and hear me. I am just going to go with it, and I will check back with the chat every now and then, but I won't keep my constant eye on it because that'll make me super nervous in case anything is wrong. Oh, hi, Charlie. Thank you. So a couple of notes first, or maybe just one. If the video quality is really bad, you can go to the settings wheel. There'll be like this little wheel on your YouTube screen, you know. And you can click that and you can select a higher quality. So if it's kind of, you know, pixely, grainy, then you can do that. So, welcome to the Garment Along. We are starting today, and I'm super, super excited because I have one project that I want to continue working on. But first, today, to celebrate the start of the Garment Along, I'm going to cast on a new sweater with this yarn. And you might have seen this before in some of my videos because I've been talking about it. Oh, I'm actually not sure if I put it in front of the microphone. I'll put it here. Such a learning curve. So I will be casting on with this, and I will be casting on the Minori sweater. I know I said Midori in my previous video, but it's Minori. And I forgot to print out the pattern, so I have some notes here. So forgive me for this, but it kind of looks like this. I'll actually switch to my other camera so you can see over my shoulder. Let's see if that works. Ta-da. Okay. Let me know if you can still hear me because I had to do something in the settings and I'm not sure what it did. So let me know if you can still hear me. And let me move some stuff. So, okay, I'm gonna have to check because this area is obscured by my other camera. So, So yes, the Minori sweater. Oh, I can just zoom in, can't I? So it's an all-over cable sweater. It uses Aran weight yarn, which I think, is usually for 5mm needles. I absolutely love it, and I want to make it. So let's zoom out again. Hey, good morning, Li Ying and Joyce. Hello, hello. Thank you for keeping me up to date with the sound. So this is my swatch, and I did not get gauge because in the pattern it says that I need 16 stitches and my gauge is 14 stitches, and then the rows are also different. So in the pattern you would have 23 rows per 10 centimeters, and I have 19 rows, so I have a bigger gauge. The rows, I usually don't really, it doesn't really bother me if I have different row gauge because, I often need to customize the length because I'm short. I have short arms, so I usually need to try on stuff because if I just knit garments to the pattern, it will be way too long for me. So I'm not too bothered about the row gauge. What I am bothered about is the stitch gauge, because that will mean that my sweater is going to be very wide. Um, so, and I promised that I would take you kind of through the maths. I'm not sure if that's a good idea on this morning. Everyone will be kind of like, really, we're gonna do maths. But yeah, that's also why I kind of did it yesterday already, because doing maths on live video would not be a great idea. Let me see if I can lower this a little bit. No, I can't. Okay. So what I did was I calculated what my actual size would be according to the pattern if I had the correct gauge. And you have to take into account how much ease they recommend. And at this point, I would have liked to show you the schematic for the sweater, but I haven't printed it out yet, so maybe I'll show you next time if it's still interesting. So I would want to do size 3 because that gives me kind of the recommended ease, which is 6 to 11 inches of positive ease. My chest circumference is 39 stitches, so I would need to add that. And that would give me 232 stitches at the chest. I just looked ahead in the pattern and to kind of see what the stitch circumference would be. And then I kind of measured that with my gauge, and it would be 66 inches, so that's 20 inches on top of the recommended ease. So that would be, way too big for me. I don't need 25 inches of positive ease. But when I calculated it for the pattern gauge, so this is the amount of stitches, and this is the number of stitches per inch. See, so the gauge is 16 stitches per 10 inches. Did I do this correctly? Actually, no, per 4 inches. So I divided it by 4, and you get 4 stitches. So even for the pattern gauge, it would be 58 stitches. So what does that mean? That the math does not check out for the pattern, but the pattern is not knit in stockinette. It is knit in cables, and cables kind of cinch in a little bit. So what this designer did, I assume, is they knit up the sweater, and then they knit a stockinette swatch with the same tension, the same way of holding the yarn. It's the same person. So yeah, because who would knit a whole complicated cabled swatch, right? So that means that I cannot actually calculate which of the sizes would be correct for me. So I'm just going to switch back to the single camera for now. So what does that mean? I can't really predict which size will be correct for me. So I'm going to knit the smallest size and hope for the best. The size 1 and 2 weren't too far apart, so I just hope that I can get away with knitting the first size. Hi, good morning, Ina. Good morning, Ariadne. So nice to see you all. So I'm going to be casting on for the ribbing. And I have some new needles. So I got some of these. These are discontinued needles, but I really wanted to have them, so I'm sorry. They're not really available in a lot of places anymore. I got them from Hobby. They still had some. I'm normally not a fan of Hobby, but yeah, they were the only place who had them, and I just think they are really cool. I got, this is the 4.5 millimeter, and I got the which are green. Each size kind of has their own color. And I bought the 4 millimeter as well for my mom, and those were orange, and orange is one of her favorite colors. So, and these I'm really excited about because this is a Knit Pro swivel cable, which if you twist the needles, the cord won't coil all over itself. So I'm just going to attach my needles. In the meantime, please do let me know what you are up to. If you are continuing on a project, if you're casting on a new project, please do let me know. I'm super curious to see what you're all doing. And I'm always looking for pattern recommendations, and maybe there are some people watching who haven't decided yet what they're going to make, so please put it in the chat. If you're watching on television, then you can't see the live chat. You can only see it if you're on your laptop or on your phone, and probably also on your iPad, but I don't have a tablet, so I don't know. Okay, so the swivel cable. I'm going to show you on my other camera again. So the swivel cable, I don't know if the quality is good enough, but it has this extra line here, and it twists. No, it doesn't twist there. It twists here, right at the base of the cord. So what's this for? I don't know, probably just to put it together. Yeah, and I'm going to attach my needles to it, and I have been working with this type of, what do I want to say? I've been working with this type of cord for a while, and what I notice is that it unscrews way less often. Maybe like not even. So that's nice. But I am going to tighten them just in case. Just using a darning needle. All right. Let's see what everyone is saying. Chris says, I'm continuing the Linnaeus sweater by Titi Lusak. Oh, I know Titi Lusak. She's living in the Netherlands now, but she's from Ukraine, I think. Linnaeus sweater, I'll have to look that up. Maybe I can do that. Oh no. Oh no, I shut down Google. Oh no. I hope this is still working. Oh god. YouTube Studio. Oh god. How do I go back? Am I still here? Okay, thank you. Oh no, it's like I always have that when I go with the cursor and I think don't click the X, don't click the X, and I click the X. So sorry. Sweater. It's so stupid. Okay, Linnaeus. Oh, that is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I also clicked my pattern in a way that I was following. Alright. And Annalena says, I have too many whips. Yeah, same. So I will be continuing the Bienvenidas cardigan. Oh, right, you showed me that one. That was amazing. By Vera Sanon. Good morning, Carolina, all the way from Sweden. Emma is knitting on big socks for her husband. Yeah, I know the struggle. Joyce is knitting on her cottage cardigan by Jacqueline Cieslak. I actually don't know how to pronounce her last name, but Jacqueline. Almost at the buttonhole part. Amazing. Carolina is starting a cardigan for her adult daughter. That's so great. Charlie, thank you for letting me know I'm still here. Ariadna, I'm going to finish whips that have been laying around for years. Last night I blocked a cardigan that I finished about 8 years ago. Oh, that could be me. So have you already worn it for those 8 years, or was it still in a closet? And because I will wear things in their non-finished state. I will wear things with no buttons, thread still hanging on. Yeah. And Charlie says, I'm going to be sewing a linen skirt. 115 from Old Berta magazine. Oh. Do I dare looking that up? Yes, I'm not going to click the X. Skirt bird. Oh, I found it. I actually found it. Is it the linen skirt or the cotton skirt? Oh, the linen. Okay. That is so cool. Oh, that is so cool. I want to be better at sewing. And Annika says, I want to finish my festive yoke sweater. Oh, is that the one by Skandir Knits? I think so. Yes, so I'm going to be casting on. I do need to open my pattern again, because otherwise I don't know how many stitches. Minori sweater. Okay. I'm just going to quickly see what I need to do to cast on. Yes, 4.5mm needles. Using long tail cast on, I will already be diverting from the pattern because I don't know. 200 stitches do not join in the round yet. Okay. Am I wearing something with thread still attached to it right now? Yes. Yes, I am. Yes. Very understandable, Charlie. Okay, so what are your favorite cast-ons for ribbing? Because the pattern says longtail cast-on, which is fine, but I think I'm gonna go with my German twisted cast-on. Oh, do you want to see what I cast on yesterday? So I was down to 21 whips, but I've cast on two things since, and now I'm casting on the third thing. So I'm at 24 whips again. But here is the top that I started yesterday during the live stream test. It is the My Little Secret crop top. And I'm using my hand-dyed yarn. And it's great because the pattern, you can use 2 strands of fingering weight or 1 strand of sport weight or DK. This is sport weight. I'm knitting it on 3.5mm needles. I think the pattern said 3.75, but I always knit very loose. I still think this is very loose, to be honest. I might redo it on 3.25. Not redo it, I mean knit it again. But yeah, I'm liking it so far. And the reason why I'm showing you this is that this has the German twisted cast on as well. It's not super neat because you can still see some purl, bumps. But I don't really mind. And also, I'm knitting, so the Minori sweater is from the bottom up. No one's going to be looking at the hem of your sweater, right? That would be weird. Unless it's another knitter, then I think I wouldn't mind. Right. So, I'm just going to do the German twisted cast on again, but do let me know which cast on you would use because I am curious. I'm just thinking that, a couple of things have gone wrong already, so I must be in the clear for now, right? The rest of the live video should be a breeze. So I don't know how to calculate for the length of the cast on that I need. So I'm just gonna take off a lot because 200 stitches in Aran weight yarn is no joke. Is it zoomed in? Yeah, okay, that's better. Okay. And if you're watching this on the replay, because I know some of you might be thinking like, oh, what's the point of watching the replay of a live stream? Because, it's going to be way too long, and I don't know. Sometimes I just overthink. But I was explaining this concept of the make-along, the garment along, to some friends. And I don't want to say non-knitter friends because they do knit, but they don't knit as much. So they had never heard of a knit along or a crochet along or any kind of along before. And And when I explained it, like, oh, you're all working on either exactly the same pattern or maybe a theme, or, maybe sometimes it's just a knit along, and you can work on whatever. And one of them said, "Oh, so it's kind of like body doubling." And I thought, yeah, actually, it's exactly like body doubling. But I don't actually think that many knitters know what that means. Hands up if you know body doubling. Emma says, "I think that I use the same cast on." Yeah, it's a very, very nice cast on for ribbing. So body doubling is when you sit together with someone, and it can be virtual like this, and you're working on almost the same thing, or maybe you're not even working on the same thing, but you're both working on a task, and simply having someone there doing it with you keeps you more motivated. Kind of like you went to a friend's house to do homework when you were a kid, or you know, if you're at work, you're also more motivated to actually do work because everyone around you is working. And I know that, maybe it's just me, but we get distracted so often while knitting, and or at least I do. And I can use some extra motivation to distract myself less. And, because I can be knitting something and then I can be thinking, oh, I forgot this at the store. And then I'm running to the grocery store, and then, I don't know, maybe I'll clean the entire bathroom while I actually have something else to do. So even if you're not watching it live, you can use it as a body doubling session. Um, which, believe it or not, some people actually pay for. So there are websites, where you can get on a Zoom call with random people who've also signed up as a body double. And you can work on your task and kind of feel, held accountable. Okay, I'm going to place some markers. Oh no! My poor laptop. Can you hear him working? Um, okay. Okay, that's 50. I always lose count when I'm counting all stitches in one go. So I like to place markers. Is anyone casting on a new project today? Do let me know. And if you're watching the replay, just leave a comment. And also, how long would you like the make along to go on for? I'm gonna say at least a month, but preferably longer. Maybe 2 months? And I do plan on doing a live video every week. Next week will be on Thursday as well, and I think the 2 weeks after that will be on Friday. And I might play around with different timing as well. Just because 9 a.m. doesn't always suit me, and I figure I might play around with it. Carolina says, yes, 2 months sounds good. Yeah, I think 2 months is fair. And we can always see if we want to extend it, but maybe longer than 2 months would be a little bit too much. But we will see. It's okay if you don't finish a garment within the knit along because it's just, kind of a progress along, right? All progress is progress. And I know that even though I want to work on this now, this is a super chunky sweater, and in a month it's going to be too warm to wear it, I think. Okay, I might be halfway done with the cast on. I won't be getting very far today, but that's okay. Let's see, Emma says, I'm going to cast on a shirt after the socks. Need to stash dive soon for yarn. Yay! I love stash diving. What kind of shirt will you make? Do you have a pattern in mind already? And Chris says 2 months is perfect. Yes, I like 2 months. Because after 2 months, it will be May 30th. So that's nice. After that, a lot of people will start going on holiday. So, and then we can perhaps come back in fall and autumn and do another knit along then, or make along. Please know that whenever I say knit along, I mean all kinds of crafts. I just tend to knit. I actually did sew a dress this week, and I felt really inspired. I saw this video. Oh, I don't know what she's called. It was a YouTube video, because I don't like cutting out pattern. I don't have a printer, so I like just eyeballing how much fabric I need. And for some dresses that works out perfectly. So I was making a dress by the Zero Waist Tiered Dress. Let's see if I can find the YouTuber. Zero Waist. Oh yeah, here she is. So her name is okay, Kulurpa. I will write her name in the chat. And she has lots of cool videos, beginner type videos, and I really like this idea of the zero waist dress. And it was tiered, so that means you have different strips, and each strip is kind of gathered, so you get this ruching. And I thought it was really cute. But the lining I chose for my dress was an old bed sheet, and I think it was a little bit too thick because my dress, yeah, it's not as flouncy as I would like. But I might have the courage to show you one day. Let's see. Li Ying says springs can be cool too, especially in the evening. So a chunky sweater is always nice. I totally agree. Actually, I have one chunky sweater that in the mornings and in the evenings I wear over my pajamas, and it's amazing. It's kind of like a onesie, but you know, a onesie is sometimes a bit of a hassle. So yeah, I think I could make use of this. Um, and Emma says, I have some patterns ready to go, but I need to see if one fits the yarn. Yeah, yeah. Um, One of the, I would say, most valuable skills in knitting is finding yarn substitutes. Because I don't think I've ever had exactly the same yarn for a pattern. You know, unless you find a pattern first and then you go buy exactly that yarn. But I don't think I ever do that. So finding yarn substitutes, I always just look at the fiber content and then at the meters per grams, per 100 grams. And, you know, for any kind of animal fiber, it will kind of be the same. So 300 meters per 100 grams of one type of wool, or, you know, even if it's like 100% wool or 75% wool or whatever, of one brand is going to be roughly the same as the other. But if it's cotton, you know, cotton is heavier per meter. So if it's cotton, then you want to substitute it with cotton instead. And when I figured that out, it suddenly became a lot easier to figure out which yarns to use. Okay, was this 40 or 50? $40. 1, 2, 3, 50. And would this be another 50? It might be. Oh, I've lost count again. I think it was 30. 50. Oh, where is the marker? And so yesterday was a bit of a, I had a bit of a panic because of the microphone. Because I have a microphone, but my laptop did not detect the microphone, which was great. And if you saw the video that I posted yesterday, that was with the microphone that is just integrated into my laptop, and you could hear the laptop zooming very loudly. It's an oldie, my laptop, so he's doing his best. But then, you know, I have this microphone, and I was Googling and I was looking up tutorials, and one said, well, the plug that comes with it, you need a different plug. You don't need one with 3 stripes on it. You need one with 2 stripes on it. So I was like, oh, okay. So I ruined it. Yeah, so now I'm on the hunt for a new headset or microphone. Oh, I wasn't using this one that much anyway. So I'm thinking, I saw a headset that had the Nintendo Switch colors of the Animal Crossing what do I want to say? You know the Nintendo Switch with the Animal Crossing colors? The console that came out with Animal Crossing. So it's light blue and light green, and there's one headset that has those colors, and I think it's really cute. But, you know, it has a wire, and I'm not sure if the wire would get in the way while I'm knitting. And I don't know, I might just get a loose desk microphone. I don't know. If you have any recommendations for headphones, please do let me know. But yeah, the ones most people recommend are going to be too expensive for me because I don't know. So, but I hope to have a new one by next week. Um, let's see. Emma says I have some lovely yarn from the Brat sack. Oh yeah, they're nice. I have yarns in different weights and materials: cotton, bamboo, bamboo linen, but need to look what I want to use first. Oh right. So any of those plant fibers is going to make for a really nice summery t-shirt. I think you might find a pattern that you like with Petite Knit. I know she's like super hyped all over the place, and I wasn't such a big fan of her at first, but now she's doing better with her sizing. I think most of her patterns are now up to 3XL, which I know isn't the best, but I've run out of yarn. So let's see. Maybe, maybe I'm at 50, maybe not. Okay. Okay, 20. But what I wanted to say, she has a couple of nice blouses and also nice camisoles. And I do like the cumulus blouse or the cumulus top. And that might work with linen as well. Because I was looking through tops yesterday, and really a lot of them only go to XL, and I don't want to support those designers. And you know they might be super nice, but yeah, I want to support designers who are actually putting a lot of work into it. So where was I? 20, 30, 40, 45. Okay, can I get 5 more stitches out of this? I think so. I think so. Oh boy. I might. Oh. Oh boy. One more, please. Oh! I did it! Oh boy. If I didn't get it, I might have done the last couple stitches with long tail cast on because that uses less yarn. Okay. Yay! Okay, and the pattern said to not join in the round yet, so I want to see. Set up row. Right side. So do I turn the work? I think so. I like to work a row flat before I join anyway. So it's knit 1 through back loop, purl 1, repeat to end, and then join working in the round. Knit 1 through back loop, purl 1. Okay. For some reason, when I'm at the beginning of a row, I always like to do English style first. Because I feel like I have a better grip on my work. I'm actually amazed that I only have this much left because I took so much yarn for the cast on and I used almost all of it. Hi, Liana. Do let me know how to pronounce your name, if it's Liana or Liana. Ariadne says, interesting cast on. It looks a lot like the long tail. Yeah, so you hold your yarn in the same way. So you hold your yarn in the same way. But for the long tail, you use this one and this one. And for this one, you make a little twist here, and then you grab this one. It's called the German Twisted Cast On, and I do have a tutorial for it. And it makes for a much stretchier, oh, I'm not doing back loops. It makes for a much stretchier edge, so that's why I really like it for hats. And you know, I don't knit socks cuff down, but if you were doing socks cuff down, then this would be a great cast on for that as well. And mittens, and you know, neck ribbing as well, especially for babies because their heads are huge. One N, so it's Liana. Okay, Liana. Very pretty name. Li Ying says, I recently noticed that my English style knitting is so much tighter than my continental knitting. Do you recognize this or know where the knitting becomes tighter switching into English style? That's so funny because I actually knit looser on English style. But it depends on how much tension you're putting on your yarn while you're holding it. So with English style, I'm barely holding it at all. So that's why it's very loose for me. And but you know, you might have a constant grip on your English style and kind of, I don't know, I can't really knit that way. It depends on how much of a grasp you have on it, I would say. I knit tighter continental style, and I figured that out when I actually took a sock project to the cinema, and I had been, oh, my hair is stuck in my bracelet. I had been knitting continental style on that sock, but while I was in the cinema, of course, you can't look at your knitting, and I can knit English without looking at my yarn. So in the cinema, I would knit English style, and afterwards, when I got home, I saw that there was this difference in the sock. It was much looser when I you know, the part that I knitted in the cinema was much looser. And also my pearls are looser than my knits. Okay, I'm coming to my first 50 stitch marker, and I'm just going to remove it. So for this ribbing, I'm knitting twisted rib because the knit stitch, I have to knit it through the back loop according to the pattern, which gives you a twisted rib. And I usually don't do twisted rib because I don't like how it looks. Well, I don't like how it looks for socks, but for sweaters it's something else. And I usually just think it's too much work because who likes to knit ribbing, right? And then through the back loop is even more cumbersome. Okay. Okay, let's look at the comments. Thank you for the explanation, and interesting that yours becomes looser. Yeah, so I always love to see how other people knit because it is fascinating to me. I do a lot of workshops now, so I get to see a lot of people knitting and I think it's so fun. A lot of people knit continental holding the yarn like this and kind of like, oh, let's see, I can't do it that way. And then kind of like putting the yarn around. Oh, I can't do it. And then there's a Norwegian purl, which is mind-blowing. So for Norwegian knitting, you would hold your yarn very close to your needle, and for the Norwegian purl, you go behind it, and then switch, and then switch again and go through. It's mind-blowing to me how people like to knit like that. But it is kind of fun if you know how to do that, and people will just look at your work and go like, wow, that's magic. Liana says, I only knit English style because I don't feel 100% with my left hand. It's good for me. I can knit. Yay! So yeah, absolutely just knit any way that you can. Any way that is more comfortable for you. I feel very fortunate that I can knit with both hands because once I had some wrist pains in my left hand and I could just knit English style. I'm actually really enjoying this because I don't feel guilty about taking a knitting break right now because it's work for me now. And also, all of you guys are here, which makes it nice. But usually I would feel, no, not really. I would not feel guilty about knitting, but I would constantly think about other things that I could be doing. I'm working on a new pattern release right now. Hopefully, I will be able to post it over the weekend. It's for a crochet blanket that has been in a crochet magazine, Inside Crochet, but that's been 3 years ago. And I thought actually that I had already published the pattern, but I haven't. So, hello, scatterbrain. So, I'm going to publish the pattern. So, hopefully, you will see that on your Instagram or on Facebook. And if you do, please do give it a like because that would really, really help. And if you're watching this video, and please do check if you're subscribed to my channel because that also really helps with bringing my videos and channel to more people. And it helps grow, and that helps motivate me, and that gives you more videos. So yeah, win-win, right? Okay, I'm almost at the end of row 1, and then I'm gonna have to do something else. I'm gonna look at the pattern again. Momo is here with me as well. She's in the windowsill, which you can't see from here, but she's sleeping on one of my cardigans, and she just snored a little bit, so you might be able to hear her. Oh no, I'm ending with a knit stitch. What happened? That should not be happening. That means I have an odd number of stitches. I'm just going through the cast on row to see if I have 2 knits or 2 purls next to each other. Doesn't seem like it. Oh, I'm gonna have to count again and see if I have a stitch too many or a stitch too few, in which case I'll just pick up another stitch. Okay. 100. 140, 50. Okay, so I have one stitch too many. So what I will do is unknit this one, unknit this one, and then I will purl these two together. There. And now I want to see that I don't have my yarn twisted. There. Okay. Place marker for beginning of the round, left side. Then place marker right side. The removable markers. What? This is a bit of a confusing pattern. Yay! I have some nice markers right here by Emily. Which ones should I use? I really like the black and gold one. I'm going to use that as the beginning of the round. But what I'm going to do for now is join the two sides together like this so it doesn't twist on me. Like that. Okay, just for now. And, okay, and what does it say? Join PM for, place marker for beginning of the round, yes. And then it says left side. Okay, so this is the left side. Then place marker, right side. So I think counting from here. Place removable markers at 100 stitches from beginning of the round. Hey, I already put my marker there. So I'll just put a pretty marker here now. Okay, so I have 200 stitches in total, and I have to place one at 100 stitches, so that's... Oh, I get it. That's exactly half. So what they mean is that this is going to be the left side of your garment, and this is the right side of your garment. Kind of the side. And then next round, it's going to be the same, right? Knit 1 through back loop, purl 1. And then repeat for 8 centimeters. Yay! We're going to do lots of ribbing. Liana says, meanwhile, I'm at my embroidery machine. Oh, that's cool. Embroider nestles for a pair of project bags. What are nestles? Are those like the lining? I have a little bit of a knot here in my yarn. See, it's where one of the strands broke and I put a knot in it, but I think that's fine. I'm actually not 100% sure on what the fiber content is because I don't have the label, so I'm just guessing. Well, not really. If you watch my previous video, I kind of did a burn test and also a wash test. So when I washed the swatch, it smelled really sheepy. So it's at least 70% wool, I would say. But when I did the burn test, I saw something like the yarn. I just cut off a little piece, right? And it burned, but some little pieces kind of melted into little droplets. So I'm thinking that there's a bit of acrylic or polyamide in here as well. But here, where the fiber broke, it was felt really woolly. So even if it breaks, I think that the wool content will kind of felt it. Nestles are holes for the straps. Oh, okay. I think I know what you mean. So they kind of look like buttonholes. I'm thinking. And I actually do have another plan for this sweater. Well, I was talking about the swatch, I remembered. So the swatch, I will keep it to throw in the washing machine to see what it does, because, you know, then I know if I can put the finished sweater in the washing machine as well. But yeah, I'm always very hesitant with that. And I also have plans of dyeing this sweater because this green isn't really my color. Let me just switch to the single camera for now. So this green isn't really my color, I think. But I don't, yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I'm thinking about color theory, but also, like, I don't really like this color. But what I do have, just gonna step over there. I have some dye, Dylon. And I've been meaning to over dye a couple of projects. So I'm going to over dye a yarn that I'm spinning. I'm going to over dye a cardigan that I've made that is kind of bland. I dyed it with avocado, and yeah, it's kind of this very light orangey beige brown, so it's not really my color. So I wanted to over dye it with red. Oh, hi, Yvonne. Yvonne says, I love that color. Yeah, I love it too. So it's intense red. And yeah, I've come to really like red because I now know that it was the favorite color of my grandpa. And I just really like wearing it as well because it is such a vibrant and happy color. And I want to see what it does to this because what would it do? I kind of know. I haven't tried it, but I kind of know. but let me know what you think that the color would be. So this is a kind of grayish green. So in here there's blue and yellow, right? And when you overdye that with the red, what do you get? Let me know. I have my suspicions, and I think I'm going to really like that color. So we'll see, if I'm going to just knit this first, and then if I don't find it, yeah, if I don't really love the color, I might overdye it. Yeah, I think you're right, Yvonne. I think it's going to be brown as well, which I love. I'm kind of in my brown era. Maybe, okay, most certainly inspired by Charlie, because Charlie loves terracotta, orange, kind of bronze. So yeah, and I'm hoping that this will be kind of a coppery shade of brown. Of course, it depends how much red I throw in it, but it will never be super vibrantly red. Um, and I think I would really like that. And I'm going to document all of the dye experiments. So I have, if you watched the difficult yarn series on my Patreon, I spun a yarn from the Wool and the Gang yarn. So I had Wool and the Gang yarn. It was super thick and fluffy, and I know that I wouldn't. Charlie says, "Welcome to the Brown Club, darling." Oh, thank you. Um, and I know that I wouldn't want to knit with a fluffy yarn. I mean, I have knit a cardigan with it, and it's just too bulky. It's like I can't wear a coat over it. It's ridiculous. Um, so I'm spinning it into thinner yarn, which is turning out really nice. And I want to over dye that with this red as well. And because that color, that yarn is like very light blue, I think it might really get the red color. Maybe with a hint of like purple in there because it is blue. So I'm gonna dye that. I'm gonna dye the peachy, browny, beigey cardigan. That's right here. I'm gonna show you. And there's a dress somewhere that I want to over dye too, but I don't know where it is. But this cardigan, it's one of the very first cardigans that I knit. And the yarn is originally Scheepjes Zuiderzee, which is a very old yarn of theirs. I don't even know if they still have it. Let me put it on because I'm quite cold. Scheepjes Zuiderzee. I'm not sure if they still have it. But it was the only yarn that Scheepjes had in skeins. So, in forms like this. And that was white or beige. But the yarn only came in white or blue because it was, it was inspired by the fishermen's sweaters. And so I bought a lot of that, and then I got lots of avocado seeds and skins from my coworkers. And they were all saving up their avocado pits, which was hilarious to me. And then when I dyed it, I wanted it to be this like salmon pink. There's this kind of beautiful pink that you can get from avocado sometimes. And obviously I had told them about that. But then it came out like this, a little bit more vibrant then. And I remember still being like really proud of it. Um, after I dyed the yarn, I still had to knit the cardigan. But I remember just being really proud of the cardigan. And then I wore it to work, and they were like, "Oh." Oh, they were like visibly like, "Oh, okay. So you think this color is nice? Okay." And I kind of haven't been able to get that out of my mind. Um, but even I kind of want to change up the color anyway. Ivona says, I remember that cardigan. Yeah, it was a very long time ago. The pattern is Antonio Antonia. It's Antonio and then like kind of a slash Antonia. So a unisex cardigan. I don't remember the designer off the top of my head, but it's really nice. It has an inset shoulder or a set-in sleeve. Oh, thank you, Liana. Um, and yeah, I mean, I got some good wear out of it. It's nice, but I think I would wear it more if I would dye it. And also the buttons. Well, I kind of still love the buttons, but they are very, very damaged. I will show you on this camera because so you can see. I got them in a yarn store in Aachen. Um, and I love them so much. So they originally were dark green, but this is kind of how it was, dark green. But around the edges and, it has worn, the paint has come off a little bit. And I've never put this in the washing machine. This is just from washing by hand. So perhaps I'll put some varnish on it. Maybe. But when I go to dye this cardigan, I will take off the buttons for sure. Because, yeah, I don't want them to get any more damage. Oh, actually, let me know. What is it doing? Okay, so I'm kind of seeing like in the screen that my webcam is also picking up sound, but I don't think so. Let me know if you can still hear me clearly or if you hear me double. Annalena says they are so beautiful. Yes, I love the buttons. And Carolina, thank you. Very nice buttons. Yeah. So in Aachen there's this store. I think it's called Gurk and Gurk. It's a very iconic yarn store with a bike outside, and the that sounds so plain, but I think the bike is yarn bombed like the one at Stephen and Penelope, and the outside of the shop is bright red, I think. Ah, thank you, Emma. Yeah, the new kind of streaming interface is a little bit confusing. Let's see if I can find it. Gerg and Gerg Agen. Yeah! Oh, they're so cute. Okay. I don't know how to share my screen, so I will. I will take my phone, if it will, and then go to the website. and show you. See how beautiful? And the bike, see, it's iconic. I absolutely love it. And I will say it is a very old-fashioned yarn store. So, yeah. I don't want to say they were snobby, but kind of. They had lots of lana gosa. They had Ito as well, Japanese yarn brand, or at least it might just be a German yarn brand, but Japanese style. And they had lots of buttons, and they had this huge wooden chest, kind of looked like a kitchen island, in the middle of the yarn store, and with huge drawers, and they would just beautiful. You kind of have this like apothecary feel. Um, but it was for really small, so don't just go to Aachen for this yarn store. But it was very nice. Um, if you do go to Aachen, I know a great sushi restaurant. I think it's called Best Friends or something, but it might not be there anymore since we went there 5 years ago for the last time. Uh, yeah, so I plan to overdye this cardigan as well with the yarn and a dress. I have a linen, no, not a linen dress, a cotton dress that I made from old bed sheets. You might have seen the video for that. And I dyed that dress with madder root. But the color isn't taking very well, obviously, because it's cotton. The dye takes very well to wool, but plant-based fibers, not so much. So I want to overdye it with Dylon just because, you know, it kind of feels like cheating, but it also doesn't. So so yeah. How are you all doing with your projects? Are you making any progress? How far along are you in your project? I just went around the beginning of the round marker again, so that means I'm in round 3. But I am not really counting rounds because it needs to be 8 centimeters. I actually hope this will go alright because when I closed the stream earlier, I closed the YouTube interface for the stream, and I'm not sure if it will save automatically. I hope so, I hope so. We will see. Li Ying is working on a top. The top I'm working on is knitted from the bottom up with 1.75 millimeter needles. Oh my god! Which was it again? Did you mention? Not sure. Which one is it? Just finished approximately 10 centimeters. Wow. Yeah, slow progress for sure with a 1.75. Column of leaves top with Scabies organicon. Oh, that is very nice. Scabies organicon. But wow, such tiny needles. Column of leaves top. I'm thinking of one, but I don't know if it's the same. Oh, that's so pretty though. Oh, that's so pretty. Did you also go for white or for a different one? So pretty. Wow. Um, Annalena says, I divided the sleeves and the body yesterday, so now I have just easy knitting and purling on the body. And you were knitting on the Bienvenida? No, wait, I'm just making something up. Yes, I wasn't making it up. Bienvenida's cardigan. Right. Great. Okay, so now it's just the body. They are kind of tiny stitches, right? So when I checked out the pattern, I thought it was tiny stitches. Charlie says, I've given up on finding fabric for my skirt for today and spent my time tidying my office instead. I'll try and visit a secondhand store tomorrow to try and find some fabric. Ooh! Which secondhand stores have fabric? No, I don't need to know. I absolutely don't need to know. I have enough. Anna Brooks, hi. I'm working while watching. It's so lovely getting my knitting fix. Much more interesting than the spreadsheet I'm working on. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Oh, spreadsheets, right? They're a necessary evil. For pattern writing, they're actually quite nice, but yeah. Li Ying, the Organicon is off-white, light grayish. Okay, okay. So it's kind of like the same vibe. That's nice. Emma has 10 rounds so far on her sock today. I need another 30 before the heel. Okay, okay. Keep going. You can do it. Every time no, not every time. Whenever I knit socks for my boyfriend, he's got huge feet too, like size 46, 47 European. It's like 10 sizes more than my own. So I've only knit a couple of pairs for him, and then I taught him to knit his own. And then he said, wow, my feet are huge. I'm going to knit you socks. So even better, he's knitting me socks. He does wear his socks all the time, though. I find that it's much nicer to knit for actually knit-worthy people. Um, Joy says, I sometimes find old curtains at thrift stores to use for dresses. Amazing! Oh, do you know, I'm not sure if a lot of people have seen this, but it was a viral video on Instagram. And I find that usually Instagram kind of shows the same viral video to a lot of people. And she was this lady in the video. She really liked tartan skirts, but she said, "Oh, whenever I go to the thrift store and I find tartan skirts, they're always like way too small." And then what she did was she bought two, and she cut both of them open, so you have two panels of fabric, and then she sewed them together, which was super smart. So then she was able to make her own tartan skirt from two smaller ones, which I love. So I'm definitely gonna do that when I go to the thrift store next time. Um, Charlie says, well, they all have old curtains. Yes. So yeah, okay. Fabric in that sense. Yeah. And I suppose curtains come in like very lightweight fabrics, but also very thick. So Joyce has finished the part I was working on, now onto the increases. Yay! For the cottage cardigan. And Ivana has just started knitting a top with Nora Kakigori. Nora or Noro? Oh, I type Mora, no, Nora. Yeah, Noro Kakigori. Oh, that's so beautiful. I love Noro. Which color did you go for, Ivana? So beautiful. Uh, I hope you find nice curtains too, Charlie. Liana is just done with the yoke. My first time top-down knitting. Yay! Top-down knitting a sweater in the round, but have to do some sewing now for my vlog. Ooh, what kind of sewing? Oh, right, for the project bag. Um, I love knitting sweaters top-down. Yeah. This pattern is bottom up, but I will persevere. Yvonne is working with number 12, Nohoka Kikori. Oh, is that the yellowy one? Himeji. Himeji is one of the subway stations, right? I think so. Oh, so beautiful. Let me see if I'm not making that up. Himeji Station. Yeah. Yeah. I think we departed at the Himeji Station to take the Shinkansen to the airport. Emma says he wanted socks for his birthday beginning of this year. After 2 weeks after that, I received a question for another pair. Oh, so you've already knit socks for him this year? I bet he's knit worthy though. I mean, I hope he's knit worthy. I think for next time I should figure out a way to share my screen, because then I can share with you all the things that I'm looking up, so you don't have to do it yourself. Just a thought. Maybe it's not really necessary. But yeah, everyone who's watching this, maybe on the replay, oops, dropped my ball of yarn, let me know if you have any recommendations for headphones that aren't too expensive. Yeah, because I do want a new headset for next week. Emma says he is now, so he is knitworthy now. He also has a hand knit hat. Nice. I love knitworthy people. I find that knitworthy people are generally good people. Yeah. Oh, I've actually gone over the time that I was going to say I was going to live stream for. I had planned to only live stream to 10:30 because I do need to do some other work today. So yeah, I am going to work on the blanket pattern. I don't have it here with me to show you, But you'll see on social media. It's the Flower Pop blanket. Um, has mint green and salmon orange in it, and flowers. And yeah, there's a matching cushion as well. So I hope to publish that this weekend. And is this way too big? I know it's too early to tell. I don't think it's way too big. Hopefully next week I will have more progress to show you. And I'll have to see if I continue on this or if I work on my other project, which is this one. So this sweater needs a body, and it had a body, but I cut it off because it was, you know, I explained it in a different video. I want to just attach a plain body. So I have the yarn. Ta-da. Um, and that will just be in the round, in the round, in the round. Just like this one. But I want to knit up to the cables with this. So I'll see if I have finished the ribbing by next time and I'm onto the cables, then I will work on this one because I want to show you the cables. And if not, I mean, if I haven't finished the ribbing, which I think is unlikely, but if I haven't, I will work on that one just to change it up a little bit. I might actually also have finished my crop top by then. These yarns are still in the shop if you want. I'll be sure to leave a link below. And there's still a discount on them right now. And I think for this crop top you only need one skein, or maybe two, depending on your size. So that's nice. And it will be nice and warm. So this crop top is kind of like underwear, kind of an under layer. And yeah, I like it that way. I like to build up warm layers underneath my shirts and stuff. All right. No, I'm gonna knit a couple more stitches to the beginning of the round. I'm really curious for how this cardigan is going to work out. Sweater. Because I just don't know how big it's going to be. But this sweater, so I'm thinking right now that it might be bigger than I want. But in this sweater, when going up to the armpits, you increase more, kind of to have dolman sleeves. And I can just omit those increases if I want. And that'll make more sense next week because then I'll have to print a pattern and I can show you the schematic and you can see it. Alright, so I've done the cast on and 4 rounds of ribbing. And I'm gonna call it a day. I mean, I'm gonna end the live stream and then I'm gonna do some work and then I'm gonna reward myself with some more knitting. that's what I'm gonna do. I really enjoyed this. Let me. Thank you so much for being here with me, and thank you as well for, especially since it's the first stream, because it's going to have the most issues. Hopefully, I don't. I'm gonna say that, and then the next one is gonna have even more issues. Um, Hopefully. So thank you for your patience. And hopefully next time I'll have better audio and I won't accidentally close everything. um, yes, thank you all so much for being here with me. I hope to see you next time. It will be the same time next week, and in the weeks after that, it'll be a different time, and probably on the Friday instead of the Thursday. So let me know preferred times on Friday if you want the same time or in the afternoon. Um, oh, thank you so much. Okay, I'm gonna let you guys go now, and I hope you have a lovely, lovely rest of your day and a lovely weekend ahead of you. And I will see you next time. All right, bye bye.